Holy banana bread! Look who it is. It's Candace Mountain and Tim Danter. And welcome everybody to our Wednesday night live stream. How are you tonight?
A little bit on the banana side, I guess.
Yes,
So
yes, you are.
it's your thumbnail. It inspired me. I saw a banana and I'm like, I gotta do something with my background tonight that has a banana in it.
I know. I did that just for you. But
Woo!
I know, so funny. And I love that you got Chiquita. I'm going to call you Chiquita, Chiquita, you know, the Chiquita banana.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, look who's in the house. Marie Claude and Sophie are here. How are you guys? How's everybody tonight? Sophie, I'm doing fine. I think Candace and Tim are doing fine as well. How are you all doing?
I'm doing okay. I fell down the stairs again on the weekend, which was funny. So it's like thump, thump, bang, boom, crash. And then I hear Jill from upstairs going, "Did you do it again?"
Oh
And I'm like,
no,
I
did you
don't
hurt
want to wake
yourself?
you. A little bit bruised up and probably sprained a toe, but it seems to have recovered. It was all swollen and red, but now it's fine. And actually, the worst part, and I had to cancel my live stream because of this, is because
And
I
that,
still got
is that just the banana, or is that you?
no,
Did
no,
you
no,
slip on a banana peel?
no. It was one of these things where I just misjudged a step because I had a big I was carrying a garbage bag, and I couldn't see the steps at all, so I totally just missed one. I was just like, oh. No, but what caused me to have to cancel my live stream on the weekend is the process of falling down the stairs. It sort of, I still get a lingering COVID cough, and it sort of aggravated it to the point that I was just coughing like crazy the rest of that day. So I was like, I can't live stream while I'm coughing like this.
No,
No kidding.
no.
That's
Well,
horrible. Well,
I
Would have
know.
left your horse.
I know. Funny story, but a horse. My
Uh-oh.
grandfather back in the day in Nova Scotia used to tell us all about these two police officers. One day they found a horse that had been shot or something on the side of the road, and one of them was like, "Do you know how to spell Godigan Street?" And the other's like, "No." So they dragged the horse up to Roby Street because they knew how to spell Roby Street. So anyway, one of these stupid old timer stories. And keep in mind, he was around when there were horses and buggies. So
yeah. And where people actually shot their animals when it was time to give them, like, get them where they needed to go. Ugh.
I know.
So before we started the live stream, you were telling us about one of the videos you just did, and I thought maybe we could kick it off with that conversation because you know why.
Oh.
No. You know why? Because it leads right into a lot of the topics for tonight, and I've got some absurd things for us to talk
absolutely. So the short I did today, I was just sitting there the other day, and I was like, "Oh my God, Adolf Hitler's responsible for all of this." And the logic, let me explain the logic. So Hitler created World War II. Because of World War II, all of our soldiers had to go over and fight in Europe. While they were away, they were, they hadn't seen their wives and girlfriends, or mostly wives, for a long time. They came back. They were a little bit on the frisky side. So some hanky panky happened. And we had a massive birth boom right after that. Hence, we called it baby boomers. Well, these baby boomers have been moving forward. We've known they're coming. And now they were just before the pandemic. They were at that point where they were starting to retire. So this is something we've been preparing for. But the problem is when the pandemic happened, a lot of the baby boomers who were not quite ready to retire said, you know what? My finances are in order. I'm leaving early. And so that caused a huge shortage of workers. So a lot of the worker shortage that we're seeing now is a result of these baby boomers. And that, of course, traced back to Hitler, which I thought was kind of funny. It's like, it's like his last kick of the can. But that's what we're looking at right now. We're in a situation where more people are retiring than we have new people entering the workforce. And this is going to happen for probably about 10 years, folks. Yeah. So until we get automation in place, be prepared to have worker shortages.
See, here's the thing I find hard to swallow with that, Candace, is that, we don't have enough people entering the workforce. I don't know the numbers as well as you do. So I have a tendency to prematurely call BS on this, because we have a huge influx of immigrants coming into this country. And, we can go down the path of saying we've got all these educated people who could become doctors and nurses with a little bit of work and take care of that problem. Why do we still have a worker shortage when we have all these able-bodied people coming in from other countries to a freer Canadian society than where they're coming from, and we're not putting them to work?
Well, yeah, there is that. That is an issue. Absolutely. I give you that. But here's the thing, that the workers who are coming in from immigration, that's part of the solution. We've got a two-tiered solution to try to fix this. Now, when you look at Western community as itself, right now, our birth rate is about 1.7 per family. So that's not even making up the 2 people that we have in each family. We should be having a birth rate of about 2.1 on average to make society feasible. So yes, we're bringing in immigrants. We need to be doing that, but we're not bringing them in enough, and we're not recognizing their criteria, which is definitely a huge thing. I know that recently Nova Scotia has said that they're going to start looking at the Ukrainian doctors and nurses and seeing what they can do to help them get their criteria recognized, because they have a huge doctor and nurse shortage. So it's like, this is a perfect plan to try to help that happen. So yeah, bringing in immigrants, huge. We need to be bringing more in, to be honest, to make up for these numbers. And we also need automation. Between the two of those, that's how we're going to get out of this pickle.
Yeah. It's true. And it just exasperates. And it's funny to me when I see people getting all up in arms and upset, like especially when you're dining out, you could see that there's more people than there are servers. Or if you see a lot of servers and you're wondering, why is my food taking so long? Hello. They probably only had 2 people show up in the kitchen, and they've got to keep washing dishes in order to get you some plates to put your food on. So
Absolutely.
it's insane. Like, and people are getting themselves all worked up.
See, here's the other side of this, is in addition to all of the boomers leaving, because they're leaving better positions, a lot of the people in lower positions have been working their butts off to get into these better positions. You've probably heard of it called, I think they've nicknamed it the Great Reshuffle.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening. The baby boomers are leaving the holes. People are moving up, and all of these jobs are now getting pushed to the bottom, to the basically your entry level restaurants, things like that. And that's where we're really feeling the impact on that.
Right. And they're all jobs nobody really wants. So we have to find a way to automate these things. We just have to. There's no question about it.
I will be very happy the day I, someday drive up to a drive-through and I hear, "Would you like fries with that?"
I know.
Because, a robot could do it.
They totally could do it. And they could totally, all we'd have to do is, once you gave your order in, all we'd have to do is, we could even swipe right at the order thing with our card. We're all tapping now. You go to the grocery store, tap. In fact, I don't even use my debit or my credit card anymore. Guess what I'm doing? I'm Shakepaying it.
Awesome. Yeah, making yourself some Satoshis.
For all of the people who are in this chat right now, Nate Palmateer's Shake Squad won a contest on the Canadian Bitcoiners show on Monday night. We were the highest Shake Squad Satoshis going, and each one of us on the team got a special t-shirt. So, nice. And we there was a considerable distance between our Shake stats and second place. Considerable.
But that's because you guys absolutely rock. Between you and Nate Palmateer, what else could you want?
So now he wants to start a Shake Squad for me, because I have my own Shakepay account.
Nice. See, that's what you should do. See, I don't have.
You were double second place.
I don't have a Shake Squad, but that's because it's just not fair, because I'm a financial minimalist. I spend as little as I humanly can, and that makes me a horrible team member.
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean we were double? Joey comes in, you were double second place. What?
I thought you said you were first place.
Listen, it's my story. You're in my house.
He's sticking to
I
it.
just thought.
Joey can correct me because he's got the stats.
Oh, hell. So you guys are in second place overall in the whole country?
No, I don't think so.
Or just in...
I highly doubt that.
Oh.
I would really find it hard to believe that 131 as of today, 1,000 stats are second place. Doubt it. You guys doubled the second place total.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was a beating. There you go.
Well,
Joey, you don't know.
I'm not even kidding you.
You don't know when I take this off, my little Bitcoin insignia that's tattooed to my chest.
Okay, I have to tell everybody, especially because I know Joey's listening. So Monday night, when they've got the Bitcoiners are live, Tim literally is like, "Come on, hurry up. Like, you gotta hurry up." I don't know what I was doing. I'm like, what is the rush? I have to be on first because I got to win this t-shirt. And I'm like, what t-shirt? What are you talking about? I didn't
Stupidest fucking things get guys going. I'm telling you, man.
He literally pushes me out of the way. And he's like, I'm like, fine, I guess I'm cleaning up the dinner dishes tonight. He jumps on the couch and I can hear him. I took my book. I went outside and he comes back and he was like, after their whole show was over, he comes out, he goes, I want a t-shirt. I'm so excited. It was
priorities, ladies and gentlemen, priorities.
Oh man.
Nice.
Anyways, somebody should want to be on my Shake squad because I've used my Shakepay a lot this week.
There you go. I'm sure you'll have no problem. Just open it up on the web page, and you'll get filled up pretty quickly, I think.
Oh yeah. Anyways, it was a beautiful shirt, and it's all exclusive on the Canadian Bitcoiners. They've got contests going on over there.
See, exclusive 1 in 25 shirts.
Yeah, see, very exclusive. So for anybody that's interested in potentially, I think they've still got more shirts to give away over there.
They're going to be a contest. You have to tune in Monday nights at 7 o'clock to the Canadian Bitcoiners CBP podcast, pardon me. And you got to listen. They got some good stuff on there lately.
They do have some good stuff.
Their bear cave.
Yeah.
That's got some neat stuff on it.
Yeah. And I always love when they rant. So I want to get on a little bit of a rant. So I want to start with something that's near and dear to my heart. And it's because most of you don't really know this, but I know it looks like I'm blonde, but I'm really quite gray. But I cover my grays up. And just like the vast majority of women in Canada, and to be honest and to be fair, the vast majority of men cover their grays too. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with Lisa LaFlamme. I mean, I am just absolutely horrified that in this day and age, some of the stuff that's going on with women nowadays. It started where I think this is my summer of the women rant. But, that started with the Roe v. Wade being overturned in the U.S. and then some of the crazy, crazy, crazy antics going on with that. Then this Lisa LaFlamme thing. I'm just like, what has happened to people? I read an article. I'm just going to see if I can share my screen. Share my screen. This came up on Facebook today. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay. It says, if you read what it said, a woman's rights history moment, Helen Hucklick was called to court as a burglary witness in November 1938. 1938. The 29-year-old kindergarten teacher arrived in her usual attire of a top and slacks, but seeing slacks on a woman so greatly offended Judge Arthur S. Gurin that he would not allow Hucklick to testify. Instead, he rescheduled her testimony and ordered her to wear a dress at the next appearance. She refused. As the November 10th, 1938 issues of LA Time reported, she stated, "You tell the judge I will stand on my rights. If he orders me to change into a dress, I won't do it. I like slacks. They're comfortable." I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's there. If you want me to put it in the link here, I can put the Facebook article in the link. But the thing is, she stood her ground. She was sentenced for 5 days, but then her lawyer came in and she was released. It says, by taking this stand, Helen launched a national discussion that helped to free women of anti-slackism. 1938, we have women doing amazing things. And here we are in 2022, almost 100 years later. We're having a female fired because of her hair color. What the ever loving hell is going on in this world? I'm not even kidding you. You can now, with some of the stuff, I was watching Alphabet, is their employees are all standing up against, I think I said this last week, they're all standing up demanding that Google does not track when women are searching, or anybody is searching, where to go get an abortion, how to take care of fertility issues, all that stuff, because of what happened when Facebook or Meta had to then give over data about a mother trying to help her child, her daughter, figure out what to do about this. You've got doctors who can't perform abortions for ectopic pregnancies because the law is that ambiguous. An ectopic pregnancy means you're pregnant, but the baby is not actually in the uterus. The mother is going to die in this case. I don't understand what the hell is happening in our world. In 1938, a woman stood up and made a stance and got fine. We have gone backwards. We've gone backwards.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I've never yet heard of a male TV personality being fired for gray hair. Never.
I just feel like we're going backwards. What's next? Seriously, what's next? Are they going to say to us, you know what? We think that you need to cover yourselves up because your attractiveness is the reason that you're all getting harmed. Are we going to be going there in this country, on this side of the world? Like, seriously, because some of this feels very invasive. Just my 2 cents. What do you think, Candace?
No,
are you outraged?
I think it's ridiculous. If anything, from my perspective, if you're an older reporter, then I'm probably gonna respect your opinion a lot more than bringing in somebody, younger. There's no reason in that. If somebody can do the job, it doesn't matter, what age they are, what sex they are, what color they are. Let them do the job. It doesn't matter to me. I'm interested in the information that's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And if that information is accurate, they could be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I'd be happy enough to listen to them.
Yeah. There's just some weird stuff. I mean, you're right on that, Candace, because I want to put this on the record. I don't actually believe affirmative action is not exactly. I think we did an affirmative action program because there was a problem. But I actually believe as long as you have the qualifications and you're put up in the merit and your merits are judged, then I really do believe the best man, woman, what he, she, they, doesn't matter. As long as you go up and you fight it out and the best person wins. That's how I feel too. But this ageism thing, what the hell? Like, and this is now it's gone international. They have this in news now. We are known for the weirdest stuff in this country. First, we had remember when Rob Ford, we got that situation. We're known for weird stuff up here. Anyways, but I digress. We'll go back to the weird stuff going on in the US. So I just wanted to bring up an article. This came into, oh my goodness, I hope I can bring this up. This came into, I get a publication called The Morning Brew. So I will give them the kudos to this. So I'm going to share my screen again. This will floor you. I had to read the article twice because I couldn't believe what I was reading. So can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So Missouri School District brings back spankings. If all other disciplinary actions fail, teacher in Missouri's Castleville I think that's 4, school district will be allowed to spank a student with a paddle, parents learned last week. The superintendent said the school board brought back the practice after parents asked for more punishments other than suspension. The parent has to approve the spanking of their child, but once they do, a teacher can use reasonable physical force on a student, but give no chance of bodily harm, injury, or harm. A witness has to be present during the spanking, and a teacher or principal must give notice to the superintendent justifying the punishment. Big picture. You may be surprised to learn that corporal punishment, as it formerly known, is legal in 19 states. That's because a Supreme Court decision in 1977 said the technique was constitutional and let each state decide on its own rules. More than 69,000 children were punished physically in 2017 to 2018 school year, according to the most recent data. Spankings in school has loads of critics, including the American Academy of Pediatrics and American Physiological Association, which said it's not effective and can give students trauma. In 2016, studies found the boys, Black kids, and children with disabilities were more likely to be paddled than their peers. Can you freaking imagine this?
Not really. I mean, I grew up in Canada, and that's never been a thing.
No, they had that, Candace. They did have that.
Not in Nova Scotia.
They had it here. I
Oh,
never
they
got it.
had it
I never
here.
got it in school, but I had 2 wooden spoons broken on me at home.
Well, I had wooden spoons broken on me at home, but and I got spankings at home, but I never got spanked in school. And
Wow.
I remember
I was a little bit of a disturber.
What the hell was his name? Mr. Donnelly. He was in the portable at New Central here in Oakville. And I remember him grabbing, when you grab someone, you yank them up by one arm, and it's a kid, right? And I remember him laying into a couple of guys. I can remember. It's plain as day.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ronnie Naylor. I know for sure Ronnie Naylor got the spanking at the school that I went to. I know for sure he did. And there was some bad words written in a textbook. This is what it was over. Bad words written in a textbook. And they made us all we had to go and do a writing sample. And then every one of us had to do a writing sample with our name, and we'd sit beside the teacher and show us how we wrote our name, how we wrote. And they took it away. And then when they discovered it was him, he got the spanking, and we all knew it. And it was horrible. And so our school, there was definitely spankings going on for sure.
Well, I grew up in Nova Scotia, and as far as I know, I've never heard of a kid being spanked.
Yeah. So Marie Claude said they had that here in school, the gen just before us. Yeah. And then poor Phil got it quite a lot. I didn't get it either, but I had my hand spanked with a ruler. I had my hand.
Oh, wow.
And I don't even remember what it was for, but I just remember there was a bunch of us, and I don't know what it was, and I can't for the life of me to this day remember. Anyways, but that's a horrible story. But this is the crazy that's going on in the U.S. They would rather have kids spanked than suspended.
No, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. I mean, I don't like either options. I mean, suspending a kid and taking them out of school, I don't think that's really a solution either. I understand sometimes you have no choice, but you got to make every possible effort to reach that child and to provide them with a opportunity to learn. Even if you have to create like a class for the more disruptive kids so that they're not disrupting everybody else. But there has to be a solution outside of taking a paddle to somebody.
Honestly. And you know what? Spankings never work. They just don't work. They teach kids that violence is the way to go. In the same news article, here's what's crazy. In the same news article, I can share my screen again and I'll scroll down and show you, or I can just read you. In the same news article, it said, the school shooting industry is growing. High-tech security systems, resource officers, 2.1 million panic alert system, $2.1 million worth of panic alert systems, and for a brief moment, a drone with a stun gun are part of the multi-billion-dollar school safety industry and typically sees a surge in demand after high-profile gun violence in schools. In 2021, the school shooting industry, which doesn't include companies that sell products like bulletproof doors or backpacks, was worth an estimated $3.1 billion and is expected to grow at least 8% annually, according to research. Okay, so can you imagine on the one hand, we're going to spank the children in the school. So we're teaching them that when you're upset or angry or can't find a resolution to something, you use violence to get a resolution, to change behaviors. So you're teaching them that they go out and then they use violence in turn to solve all their problems. So no wonder the school shooting industry is growing. You've got, what was one of the things I said in there? You've got bulletproof doors or bulletproof backpacks. Like what world are we living in here?
Oh, I know. It's, I mean, I understand the need for that industry because it's out of control, but that's not even putting a Band-Aid on a wound. That's basically just, it's almost like not preventative. It's like aftercare type stuff. We need to be stopping this right in its tracks. We need to, they need better gun control in the States. We all know this. I think everybody in Canada, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you know that, owning a gun shouldn't be like a big prideful thing,
No.
which it really is in the States.
Yeah.
But we need to really start looking at what's going on. How, why are these kids not being addressed? Even if it's a situation where, maybe we need to give mandatory counseling to everybody in the schools.
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. I got something to say about that. If these kids learn it from somewhere, starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
Any parent who gives a rat's patoot about their child, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, their child will not turn out like that. But if a parent has a mind that it's my right to have a gun, it's my right, freedom of speech, and they're allowed their rights because that is the Constitution, chances are their child is going to be more influenced to do those things and have that attitude.
I know, but honey, I think we're seeing it from our lens, which is a white person's lens of middle class standing, and we don't see it from the environment with which they live in. Like, we have to be careful with making sweeping statements about it's the parents. I think there's a lot of really conscientious people just trying their best to do whatever they can to stay afloat. And so they're working endless hours. I mean, we talk endlessly on this show about how inflation is hurting people. So people are having to take 2 jobs just to make ends meet. How can they be parenting effectively? It's not that they don't want to. And then the kids are in an environment where they're highly influenced by other people. I think you've got a point, Tim. And if I was talking about white middle class people, probably I would agree with you, but I think
I'm not associating a color to any of this.
No, I'm just saying.
No, and I don't think it's the parents either. I think it's the actual system that they're using. I mean, I understand the importance of the Constitution, but you know what? They've already amended the Constitution many times. That's why you have the amendments. Perhaps it's time for a new amendment, something to try to help clean up some of the mess that America is in.
Yeah, but I will tell you, Candace, like one of my very dearest and bestest girlfriends is down there, and she and I talk about this stuff all the time. And there is an innate fear within them that if they lose their guns, that what happened in Germany will happen to them, that they will get overturned. Like it's their safety. They feel strongly that there's a safety aspect to it for them. And we don't understand this. We've not grown up with this. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to kind of explain it other than they really, really, really feel like they need to protect themselves. They feel like they're under attack constantly.
But isn't that a division of society where it's like some people trust, some people don't trust? It's black and white to me.
I don't think so. I think it's systemic down there.
They don't trust people. And yet us up in Canada, we're not of that mind.
No, we don't have that divide. Well, we're getting there. We're slowly getting more divisive in Canada, but we just don't have it to the nth level, the degree that you see it in the United States.
No.
What was it always like that? And it's just everything's now more transparent, and with news media and stuff like that, it's just coming more and more apparent that it's always been like this. It's nothing old. Or
I
sorry,
think
it's
there's
nothing new.
always
It's nothing
been
new.
I think there's always been a certain level of divisiveness in the US. I mean, you can probably go all the way back to the Civil War. You know, that's an extreme example of how divisive it was between the South and the North. And I think now it just politically, that's where it's coming. Well, if you go back as far as, say, the 70s, at that point, the divisiveness was not so much between Republican and Democrat. It was more or less more of a racial thing at that point. And now it's sort of developed, and it's almost like Americans aren't happy unless there's some amount of divisiveness somewhere. And currently, the divisiveness of the day is, your politics. But will that change? That might actually change in the future. We don't know. But I think there's always going to be some amount of divisiveness down there. It's almost like they need it to feel, I don't know, alive.
I don't know. It's getting really scary there. The divide is just getting so great. It's like unbelievable. Okay, so next topic again goes on the absurdity. A college student who had his room scanned before taking a remote test won a major legal battle. So we are so untrusting. We're now going to be scanning people's rooms. How does this make any sense? So here, I'm going to share my screen again and I'll show you. I just love this morning brew. It gives me the headlines and I read it really zippity doo-dah. I'm not sure if you can see this, but a college student who had his room scanned just before taking a remote test won a major legal victory this week, sparking celebrations among privacy advocates who've been pushing back on the monitoring tactics colleges have used to crack down on cheating at home during the pandemic. On Monday, a federal judge ruled in favor of Aaron Ogletree, a chemistry student at Ohio's Cleveland State University, who successfully argued that the school scanning of his room was unconstitutional. The judge's reasoning: Mr. Ogletree's privacy interest in his home outweighs Cleveland State's interest in scanning his room. So I won't read the whole article because it's irrelevant at this point in time. But I thought maybe we could just talk a minute about how we feel about, I don't know,
I think it's ridiculous. And here's this whole thing. If you've done a lot of education, one of the hardest things you will ever have is an open book test. They're written differently. They're written to actually make sure that you understand the knowledge and that you can apply them in different circumstances. And I think that's the way education should be right across the board. If everything were open book and they tested basically your application of the knowledge, not that you can access the knowledge. Anybody can access knowledge. We've now got a world where we've got Google, we've got our phone, we can access, we can ask whoever our assistant is on the phone, and we can get that information. What we need to be testing is how people handle and use that information. And when we switch to that, all of a sudden there is no more cheating because, it doesn't matter. It's like, use whatever resources you have, but let's see how you can apply the information that we've taught you.
I agree, Candace, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people get all upset that kids haven't learned math the same way we did. And we've got a funny story about that. And that's another absurd situation, but they can't do mental math in their head quickly. They can't do cursive writing, but guess what? With DocuSign now, you actually don't need to sign anything. We're getting to the point where your electronic signature is sufficient on most legal documents now.
You're muted,
what, honey?
Jen.
You're on mute.
Well, you really missed an important statement I made there then.
What was it?
You're getting to there and driving anyway.
Right. So you're to access information, asking anybody, unless they've got some kind of weirdly photographic memory, to recall data and little bits of information is seriously is useless. It's about how you can tell a story with those data pieces. For instance, like how we opened the stream tonight, and you made a correlation, and a very good one, I might add, to Hitler being the reason that we are in the mess we're in today, right? It's that ability to make some rational assumptions or string some thoughts together to make a clear statement. Those are the types of things that are going to be valued in the future. It's that critical thinking piece that we have a big problem of. And so the funny story that we've got to the point where, and arguably this, we've moved in the world away from cash. So I think this is a short-lived problem, but it's still a problem. So we have a really good friend that owns a very big restaurant. It's a hamburger stop. And he has kids that work for him doing the order entry. Okay. And this goes back to another point we made earlier, which was that whole thing about soon you just tell the order into the computer and then tap your card and be done with it. But this computerized cash register tells the gal who was doing the change how much change to give back off the $20 bill to the customer. It tells you $3.85 or something. She got the $3 out, no problem. Couldn't make the 85 cents. Couldn't do it in her mind. Now think about that.
I know we're moving into almost a cashless society. So I can understand that some of these younger people who are in their first job, they might be like, cash? What does that look like? I've never seen a quarter before.
No.
You're going to have people like that.
Right.
And here's the funny thing. If we ever run into a situation with the power grid, and let's say for whatever reason, the power grid decides to go down for a while and we're back to using cash for a little bit, they're going to get a crash course in all of that, aren't they?
That was one of the easy lessons we used to do with our kids sitting at the kitchen table. We'd get the coins out and we would just throw the coins on the table and I would say, make me, and I would have them do it, like just sitting there. Mm-hmm. We've moved away. But again, it comes back down to what is really the need? How often are they having to give change out? And there will be computerized cash registers soon where the thing just spits the coins out.
I've seen that in the States. So
yeah.
Yes,
they used to have that in the LCBO. They used to have that in the LCBO. For those of you who remember that they gave you the bills and then the thing came sliding down into a little reservoir.
And you took your change.
We're almost at the point now that the swear jar takes a debit card.
Well, it's true. So true. So true. Okay, so that was the college student thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about was, I read again, same news article. This is why my mind gets boggled. So here was the situation. Again, absurd situation. I'm just going to get to it and then I'll share my screen. If you can believe this, there is a capital in, I think it's Mississippi. Let me see if I can find the article here. The capital in Mississippi, which I believe is Jackson. Yes, here it is. Let me share it. Jackson, Mississippi. They have no running water. So 180,000 residents of Jackson, Mississippi have had no water coming from the tap to drink, brush their teeth, or even flush toilets since Monday. And city officials say that the situation will go on indefinitely. While it may be shocking that a U.S. state capital is without reliable drinking water, it's not entirely new for Jackson's inhabitants. A winter storm in February 2021 shut down the city's water system, leaving many without water for a month, and they've been advised to boil their water since July. The city's aging water treatment plant has been understaffed for years. How did we get here? So again, we don't need to read the whole thing, but the roots of the city's failing infrastructure go back much further and mirror those of the minority U.S. cities. Water systems that consistently violate federal drinking water laws are 40% more likely to be located in areas where they have residents of more color. According to 2019 report, the Natural Resource Defense Council, Jackson is more than 80% Black. Now, they have a strong, they don't have a strong tax base, and that's very different how they do their funding down there. And now they did state that they are going to be receiving $75 million from that recently passed federal infrastructure bill to fix its water issues. The problem, Jackson's mayor said last week, that repairing the city's water system will cost as much as $200 million. Now, here's where the rub comes in. Now, let me find the next article in this exact same publication. It had to do with the EV. So they're going to be spending money. I can't, just give me 2 seconds. They're going to be spending money on EV stations across the nation. So the federal government in the U.S. passed that bill that they want to have how many electric vehicles in?
Quite a bit, but yeah.
Right. So how do you, I'm trying to find the darn article. Oh yeah, ready, set, charge, electric vehicles. So here's my rant. So you've got states that have their capital cities have no running water. How do these guys justify where they're putting their money? Where are we putting the money for this stuff? You want this is the future state, and yet you have antiquated no water in Mississippi. I don't get where the money.
You don't want water with all that power going through the city. You get zapped.
Well, I think a lot of the power subsidies are coming federally, and I think the water supply itself issue is not even a federal issue; it's more of a state issue, and that's where you've kind of got that whole divide. But no, something needs to be done. I mean, you can't have a city as big as Jackson without water for indefinite amount of time. That's absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
The thing is, Candace, is that we sit up here in Canada where we're safe. We have stuff provided. It's all smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. And we talk about this article, and yet do we ever suspect that something like that could happen to us? And what are we doing about it? Is that just being totally...
Well, stuff like that has happened to Canadians. If you look at some of the issues with drinking water on some of the reservations up north.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's absolutely horrible. So, I mean, we have had it, and it's taken, the federal government here a long time to try to get some of this stuff resolved. I mean, and it's ludicrous because water, as far as I'm concerned, should be a basic right, a basic human right. Now we're heading to a point too, and this is going to be really interesting in the future because the U.S. they've got their aging infrastructure. They've also got, they don't have a lot of great supplies of water. They have a lot of droughts. They have a lot of issues with water supply. And where are they going to be looking for water? They're going to be looking to Canada. So, we need to be sort of preparing for that as well. I know one person, I don't know who it was, somebody big had said that one of the next great war is probably going to be over water and not natural resources.
Oh, probably.
And we have loads of it. And I think...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it. And I think that's part of the relationship that we have with the U.S. And I think that's one of the reasons why the U.S. Will always protect us, was because they know we've got the water that they want. So they would never let anything happen to us for that reason all by itself, as well as the strategic, location of where we are, but definitely the water.
And yet there was a big hullabaloo back 4 years ago between Detroit and Windsor, where they were trying to protect water, making sure that the lake where they were dumping out, Detroit was dumping all of their stuff from the industry into that. And here we are talking about clean water, and then here's the States making it all dirty again.
Oh yeah.
And listen, Canada's no, we're not squeaky clean either by any means. But that's the only example that comes to mind.
Yeah,
right
when
now
you think about the Great Lakes,
can't suck and blow.
they're pretty much
can't?
write-offs. I mean, because we can't fully clean them up without the U.S. helping. But we've got thousands, tens of thousands of freshwater lakes that are just absolutely insane sources of water.
Yeah.
And we can go down to get water, like at my cottage. I have a well.
Yeah. We have a pretty healthy aquifer underneath Canada. So
Sure do.
Yeah, we do. We're lucky.
Sure
So,
do.
okay, the next rant. Again, you can see why I've said the topic tonight, the absurdity, and these articles are in the same publication. So, here was okay, I'm just going to read this part and then I'm going to show you the second. British energy bills will skyrocket by 80%. Britain's energy regulators raised its estimate for what a typical British household will pay in energy bills from £1,971, which is about $2,300 per year, to £3,549, which is about $4,165, beginning in October, adding fresh worries around how the Brits will afford to heat their homes this winter. Europe's energy troubles are spiraling out of control as technical problems hamper France's nuclear reactors. Power costs there surged on Friday to more than 10 times the price last year. So as we're on the last day of August, and it's nice and warm out, and we're all in our tank tops, and we've got our air conditionings going and all the rest of, like, we can be smug over here because we've got all of this, like we have clean drinking water. But over in Europe, as the weeks are marching on, these folks are going to be faced with freezing damp. Like I haven't been to Europe, but I have lots of friends that have, and they said the dampness of what feels like over there is unbelievable. Like that cold seeps into you. I'm telling you, people should be going to Value Village right now and finding those old bed warmers where you put warm things in it and shove it within your bed to warm you all up.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be very bad in Europe this winter. There's no way around it. They don't have enough energy.
So guess what the same article on the same page says? Nuclear energy is in. It's the nouveau thing.
Well, nuclear energy is green. It's not producing any CO2. It is, of course, the control rods and things like that. We have radioactive stuff, but we have ways to deal with that. That's not a big issue. You want to make sure that you're building them on seismically safe zones to the best of your ability. So it is a good energy source. It is a solution. But we're in a situation where it's not like they can build a whole bunch of them quickly. They take time. So there's nothing they can do about this winter. And here's the worst thing. Right over here, we have an abundance of energy that we could be exporting out of Canada. The problem is we don't have the infrastructure to do it. We don't have enough pipes to send oil, to send natural gas out. We don't have the infrastructure. We just don't. We're sending it out as fast as we can. And they've estimated that since the beginning of the summer, we've already lost billions of dollars in profit because the world needs our oil, but we just don't have the ability to ship it and get it out to them.
Remember when we had a pipeline discussion and then it got kiboshed? These are some of the things that we have to weigh all angles of things out. And honestly, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm absolutely against climate change, but in trying to save people in the future right now, we're hurting people in the present. So we need to find a better equilibrium between climate change and, helping out the rest of the world at this point. And it helps Canada if we could actually get a lot more oil, natural gas, or even now hydrogen. If we could get that moving and get that exported out, that's good money. Like right now, look at Alberta. Alberta just announced that they have a surplus. So they got more money than they know what to do with. So they're going to, they're going to cut taxes in the province and they're going to pay off some of their deficits. But I mean,
one way to get that going is and one way to get that going is a match.
Yeah. So, okay. slightly off the political type rants, but there is some other weird, absurd things that I'm just going to rant about because it's the topic of the night. Okay.
Sure.
So I heard about this maybe 4 years ago, and I was in complete and utter disbelief. And I actually thought it was a joke until recently. I was out someplace and I actually saw this with my own 2 eyes, but I don't have a picture. So I got a picture from the internet. I am not even kidding you. I thought this was a complete and utter just a joke. Does everybody know that there's a real group called the Pastafarians? They literally wear colanders on their head. So when I was out and about and I was with a girlfriend and my girlfriend looks and she sees a couple of people with colanders on their head and I went, oh, the Pastafarians actually exist and they are walking around in the real world. And here's what it is. Where did the universe, humanity, our planet, and chocolate ice cream come from? Well, they were all created by a giant, all-powerful being made of spaghetti with 2 googly eyes on raised stalks and a pair of meatballs where cheeks would bulge. This is the flying spaghetti monster, FSM. And if there are any justice in the world, his story would stand a good chance of being taught as fact in American schools as the anti-evolution narrative called intelligent design.
Wow. No, actually, that meatball creature, it lost one of its meatballs. It rolled off the table and then onto the floor, and then it rolled right out the door.
On top of old spaghetti, all covered with cheese. I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed.
No, I mean, it's a situation where, I respect everybody's right to have whatever crazy religion they want. I mean, heck, even Jedi are technically a religion, and they're recognized in some places. I know the UK recognizes Jedi as a religion. But if you want to worship a giant pasta monster, cool. Go for it. I just won't hang around you if there's lightning.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I was walking down the street, and there they were. Colanders, like everyday colanders that you put your pasta in on their heads walking down the street. I honestly had all that time believed the Pastafarian was a joke until I saw a group of them. And maybe they were just being a joke.
They are a very strange bunch.
Yeah.
Anyways, now, so there's the Pastafarian rant, and then
I will honestly say I thought you were going to tell me you saw Bigfoot, but hey.
Well, we are going to Vancouver.
There you go.
Yes,
and I do need more content. I have so much content for TikTok. I just got to figure out how to put it all together.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Crazy time. Okay, so I know Tim's got a rant, but I figured I would give my last rant but Tim, just you, because I know that you're going to give like a counter argument to this on some levels. So, you know what came out this week was the pumpkin spice latte. Now, I too like the occasional pumpkin spice latte. I do. I like that. But what is happening to us? I feel like the seasons are dripping into they're dripping over here. Soon we're going to be having pumpkin spice lattes in June just because we want to extend the pumpkin spice latte season. And I know why they're doing this, because the gingerbread spice latte has got to come out in October just before Thanksgiving to gear up for Christmas, because we don't just celebrate Christmas in December anymore. We have to push that all the way back. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Here's a funny little side note. Starbucks stocks usually go up on the day they release the pumpkin spice latte. It usually doesn't impact their stocks on that day. They go up a little bit.
Yeah, because everybody runs. I'm not even kidding you. When I went, and I don't go into Starbucks very often, but because I'm on holidays this week, I decided I would go in and have a coffee. When I was in there, they were selling pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Now, keep in mind, my favorite flavor in the world is pumpkin.
Me too.
So I'm in that group that would be like, you people need to have pumpkin spice lattes available all year round. And then pumpkin muffins are really good too, but they don't. So I'm all for that. But I mean, I guess the larger thing is all about the way holidays are sort of all bleeding in. And I think a lot of it is just the way the commercialism is. We're now at a point, like, I know I was talking to Jill the other day and I was like, when are we going to put up the Christmas tree? And she was like, October. I was like, October? What do you mean? Well, we're not going to put any Christmas decorations on it, but we've got some Halloween lights. We'll make it into a Halloween tree.
Oh,
So
Jill.
I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Why not?
It's a fake tree, right?
Yes, of course it's a fake tree. Yeah.
I had to ask. I mean,
Now,
I have a little, and I showed you guys before, I have a little tiny Christmas tree that I have up in the studio all year round. But I use it as a nightlight because at night when I turn off all the lights, the little bit of lights on the timer on that tree gives me lights to go up the stairs.
You know, they sell these things called night
And I
lights,
need good visibility on stairs. Trust me.
especially when bananas are involved.
Well, I'm just thinking about my history of falling downstairs.
Exactly. Well, that's my rant. I get really tense about we're stretching things into the wrong seasons. We've become so commercialized that it's not special when it's supposed to be special, you know?
Yeah,
Don't even get me started, Candace, on people not turning their Christmas lights off in an appropriate amount of time after Christmas.
Yeah.
It drives me ape shit crazy. We lived down the street from one guy. It was after Easter. I don't know whether the bylaw people went and told him to turn his Christmas lights off. The snowman, the glowing snowman. There's no way. You've now gone through the Cupid. You've gone through who's the guy, the leprechaun at that March. You've gone through the Easter bunny. Frosty should be long put away at this point in time.
Yeah, I know. You know, I always thought that, at least give us a Remembrance Day. Then you can start. Your holidaying. I'm okay with that, but give the veterans their day before you start. Decking the halls.
Yeah. See, I'm as soon as Halloween's done, I'm okay. Get Halloween done, then you can go ahead, knock yourself out, give yourself 2 months, enjoy. But then, for heaven's sakes, get that stuff down by the middle of January. Enough. Yeah. Get it down.
Unless it's an exceptionally cold January. If it's like nothing but polar vortexes, fine.
Just pull the cord. Just pull the cord. Just don't have them on. It'd be one thing if that Frosty was just sitting there and he was an exceptionally messy person, but like he had them on, Candace, like a lit up wreath, the Frosty in my neighborhood. I'm like, oh,
good thing you're not American, or you would have had your 12 gauge there blowing up snowmen.
Well, you think about some of those crazy light displays. People are starting now to put them all together and coordinate their music and all that stuff.
The thing. I don't care. You can start building it in June if you want.
Yeah.
Turn it on.
Right.
Unless of course you're turning it on just every so often to test something, but don't leave it on.
Right. Because a totally different scenario. This is a guy that just simply didn't ever walk around to the side of his house and pull the cord out of the wall. Makes me crazy. Now you guys know some of the things that make me crazy, but that is like holidays that bleed into other holidays. Just get rid of that stuff. Anyways, I'm going to let Tim do a rant now because I know he's got one, a good one.
When Nancy and I sit here together, we have headphones that we use a splitter with, right? Now, this splitter is very, very useful because it allows us to hear at the same time, so on and so forth. So it kind of it reached the end of the road last stream, and was out shopping for one. And they're hard to come by the way. Found one at Staples. Now, this was $12.59. So I went up with my Shakepay Visa, and I paid at the counter. And it's a display board that comes up. And under my purchase, before the total, comes up a recycling fee for Ontario. And I said, whoop, what's that 80 cents for? And I said, I'm not here to create you a hassle. I no disrespect intended. I've never seen this before on a purchase. Can someone explain to me what this is? It's a recycling fee to help it find the right place to be recycled when it's done. Okay. That 80 cents was just over 6% of my overall purchase for something that I will take at the end of this and throw in the garbage that I pay taxes for to get picked up anyway. And there's not some little person at the dump who is going through my garbage bag looking for this to separate it. I call BS on this kind of charge. I looked at my bill from Best Buy from last October. There's no EPH charge. The EPH charge is the the EHF charge. I don't know why I call it that. It's the environmental handling fee, a Canadian federal fee or levy that is added to the purchase of all televisions, computers, computer equipment, and all other applicable electronic devices in the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, Ontario, PEI, Manitoba, Quebec, Newfoundland, and Labrador, New Brunswick, and the Northwest Territories. The fee will be used to cover the cost of collection, bullshit, transportation, bullshit, storage, bullshit, processing and disposal of electric waste. Not on this. Not on this. This is going right in the regular garbage. I mean, for God's sakes, what are they going to do? Start taxing us on gas that we pass now?
I can't see it on the small stuff. I understand it on the bigger stuff. Like if you have a computer that has some of the stuff on the circuit boards, for example, are harmful to the environment, that stuff's not supposed to be going into regular garbage.
Are you? I get it.
Yeah.
But if we were to open up people's bags, we would be astounded of what's in that shit. You know, the only time you get caught is when you go to the landfill site and someone says to you at the check-in, the weigh-in, whatever it is, what do you got?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's checkpoint number one. Checkpoint Charlie is when you get to the bins and there's some person standing there watching you unload the stuff. That you can put something, I can take any piece of electronic equipment, put it in a garbage bag, and my taxes take care of it.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. In Nova Scotia, they don't let you use black garbage bags. You have to use clear garbage bags so that they can see what's in them. And that way there, if you throw something in the garbage bag that doesn't belong there, they don't take it. Now, you are allowed to have one small black one, what they call the privacy bag. So if you're putting I know. It's like if you're,
Well, guess where I'm going to put my computer?
In the privacy bag, yeah.
Holy F sharp.
Or at least the little,
this is
or at least the little cord.
I mean, come on, Justin. I mean, this came in actually, there was an article that I saw that they said they rescinded it. Like, how can Best Buy not charge me? I go into Staples and they charge me in the same province.
Well, you know what? Don't go to Staples. Go to Best Buy.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Candace, I'm still laughing about the privacy bag. Do you know?
Excuse me, I have to shut the door. I have a privacy bag.
Oh, no, normally in the privacy bag, what we would
Guys
do
only.
We would throw in used stuff from the bathroom that, goes to the privacy bag.
That's what we were thinking, Candace.
When was the last time you used your computer? In the bathroom?
Yeah, every so often, something I want to get rid of because I don't know how to get rid of it, I would throw it in the privacy bag too.
I can be like any other person and go down a rural route.
Now having a hot flash.
Oh, don't be careful. Those things will get fucking taxed one day too.
Well, okay, I could just see what's going to happen if they ever do this privacy bag up here.
Can you imagine the weirdos that's going to frickin' draw? People are going to be, you got those people that go by your blue bins every night at 2 o'clock in the morning, bang, bang, clang, clang, boom, boom. You're going to have someone going, and it ain't the raccoons.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know my mom's place, anytime I put the blue bag out and there was like pop cans or something in it, the bag would be gone before the garbage guy came. Because, you know, somebody would come and take them so they could return them.
I'm going to put out a black bag next garbage pickup, and I'm going to put a big freaking yellow piece of tape going privacy bag on it. And I am going to sit there with a thermos of coffee, and I'm going to freaking videotape it. Some idiot is going to go, going to have a little monkey jump out and go, surprise. Fozzie 1, Fozzie 2.
Oh my God.
What is going on with this world?
Well, you know, the clear bag thing isn't all bad, but then people like we're not very good at Tim, you have to admit, and nobody gave us
don't air our dirty laundry about recycling now.
No, we do. We're good recyclers. Our problem is we're good recyclers. Our problem is the green bin stuff. We're not good with that. So if we had to put out clear bags, Tim, people would be like, "Oh, look at they did not do their green. They put coffee grounds. No, we put coffee grounds in the garden, but we might put an eggshell in our garbage."
I call bullshit to recycling too. Sorry for the BS word.
Oh jeez.
You got your little truck that comes along, and they've got compartments, and we good people put stuff in compartments, in our boxes, in our bags, in our whatever, and they put it into the separate things. The big truck goes away to the land transfer. I happen to be at a land transfer just at Appleby Line and Upper Middle Road. In Burlington. In comes one of these trucks, recycling trucks, right? Now, folks, if you don't know the mechanics of how one of these recycling trucks unloads, the back opens up, it tilts up, and into a pile where not only did it dump it all into one pile, but a front end bulldozer loader pushed it into a bigger pile. You've just ruined what I spent 3 hours freaking separating.
Yeah.
Halton region.
Well, I'll tell you, the way they do it, the District of Lunenburg, which is in Nova Scotia, they built a top-of-the-line recycling facility. It was the first in North America. Now, what they would do is you would have your green bins, you would have your blue bins, but everything else that went through the main garbage stream went through this compound, and it would use magnets to pull metal out of it and different sorting bins to sort different sizes, and it would also be able to collect some of the compost back so that they could then commercially sell it. But I mean, it was a massive, massive thing, and it was a step in the right direction.
And to be fair to Halton, this was a number of years ago, and I don't know. I didn't stick around to see what happened to that pile after I left. So
they probably had a whole bunch of Oompa Loompas that came out, and they pulled it all apart and sorted it out. You know, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they just come out from nowhere. And
well, I know the supervisor was saying, "Hurry up and keep it short." You know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ken, wants to know what a green bin is. Don't ask us. We're not good with it, Ken.
Seriously, Ken?
He probably doesn't. They probably don't have it down there. It's not everywhere.
Pardon?
It's not everywhere.
I think he's yanking your chain. I'm sure he knows what a green bin is.
Ken, are you yanking my chain? Because there are some places that don't have it, Tim. And down in that area, we don't have it in Sabo.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I accidentally broke somebody's clavicle with a green bin.
How did you break somebody's clavicle with a green bin?
I was working
another privacy bag.
No. I was working at that dump site at the District of Lunenburg. I would go and collect water samples, and they were getting ready for this recycling project, and they had these piles of green bins, and they were all stacked about 10 to 12 feet high inside of each other. And I just happened to walk over, and I leaned against one, not realizing that they tilt. And it fell, and then they fell like a row of dominoes, and this guy was walking along. the back end of them came right down on his clavicle and broke it. Now, I felt really bad, but at the same time, it was also kind of funny because I'm like, dear God, this is the type of thing that happens in a movie. It doesn't happen in real life, but I ended up breaking the poor guy's
So
pocket.
Okay, just
growing
one
up-
second to clarify. Sandra B doesn't know what a green bin is either. So this is a thing. I'm telling you,
maybe.
it's not, green bins aren't everywhere, only in the major city. And Ken says they're supposed to start that soon, but he has a dog, so he doesn't feel he needs a green bin. Well, that's good. And Gary's in the house. Hey, Gary, how are you? So the green bin, you're supposed to put
compostable.
Anything that's compostable. So even napkins and paper towels and
Paper bags.
Pardon?
Paper bags.
You put paper bags in there too?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what you normally will do inside your house. You'll have a paper bag that you put your organics into, and then you just carry the paper bag out and throw the whole thing in the green bin.
I'll say because Tim and I wouldn't know this.
Yeah.
Partially.
My recycling, how I learned how to recycle growing up, and I swear to God, true story. My mother would take the garbage bag, which back then we were all paper bags, right? Dominion and all this and that. And you have to understand that was
a long time ago.
50 years ago. And in the fireplace it would go.
Oh my God, you're not telling the fireplace story.
So she did this one time, never forget it. I swear to God, hand on the Bible. My mom smoked. And she goes, have you been playing with my lighter? Da, 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 da. She lights the bag. We walk away. Kaboom! Guess where the lighter was? She had thrown it away.
Funny.
But that's how I swear to God, that is how she used to burn anything, paper, cardboard, whatever the case is, not metal, and not food and stuff. But because she was very, that went to the garbage.
Yeah.
But anything didn't
she throw the channel changer in there once because it was in the newspaper?
Yes. Oh, Jesus, Murphy, yes. You know what? And we saved 80 cents from the electronic environment handling fee for that one.
Well, that's good. But then you probably got exercise too because you had to walk over and turn the channel.
Listen, yeah. I was of the age when those just came in. You know how many times we had that box with the wire that went to the TV and you push buttons down.
Oh yeah.
How
many times
that
I
was
tripped
Rogers.
over?
How many times you trip over that
thing?
Or you had the one that was like off of Star Wars where it had 3 buttons. You'd go click, click.
Yeah. Well, I remember what I used to do on Saturday mornings is I'd find the cartoon channel that I wanted to watch. I'd tune it in and then I'd take the knob off so that my brother and sister couldn't turn the channel.
Yep.
It worked.
Of course it worked. It was great. It was ingenious.
Did I ever tell you the channel changer story about, like, this is a woman scorned story, okay? I had a girlfriend who really, really was in a bad relationship, very bad relationship. And she literally really couldn't stand her husband, but they couldn't get out of the situation. And so anyways, it just was getting progressively worse and worse and worse. And she couldn't stand anything about him at this point. You know, when you can't even stand them breathing. So he controlled that TV in their family room. He controlled that thing. He never let her watch anything she wanted to watch. It was all him, sports. So she went over. This was in the early days. She went over to Kojiko and got a second controller. She literally had it set. So she would be sitting doing her knitting or whatever while they were watching TV. And she had the controller down by her side and she would flick it. So right when a touchdown or something was going to happen, all of a sudden the Hallmark channel would come up. And then he got so upset with this thing. He kept going over. He kept trying to fiddle with it. He called Kojiko 3 times. They came to the house and told him there's nothing wrong with your cable service. There's nothing wrong with, he said, it just keeps flicking right at the good parts. You know, she would have gotten away with it, but she fell asleep one night and then crawled up to her bed and forgot to grab it with her. And he was cleaning and he found it one day. Oh, he lost it. But yeah, woman scorn, man. Talk about a channel changer.
Anyway.
Well, I think we've had enough ranting for the evening. Well, Candace, you haven't had a rant of any sort, although
you didn't tell me to bring a rant. I would have brought a rant. My rant is that I wasn't told about the rant. So how can I rant without a rant, you know?
I know.
I'm rant free.
I know.
Well, I'm like Alberta. No, wait a minute. They're rat free. You know, missing an N, but you know.
Oh my God. So let's do a quick, what have you got going on this week, Candace? I know you had your little accident and fell down the stairs, so you didn't do a live stream last week, but
that's all I missed. I mean, I had already done my video, so my Monday video went out. Tomorrow's video is another disaster. It's Air Canada. And then on the weekend, we'll have a video on Saturday. We'll have another live stream on this Sunday, provided I don't fall down another flight of stairs. Back again with another video Monday, and here again next week. Maybe I'll bring a rant. I don't know.
I think the Dant rants, or Candace rants, whatever
Danter ranters.
Oh my God, the Dant rants. Oh my.
Yeah, Danter ranters. That's funny.
It's crazy, but well, that's good. You got a busy schedule going, and it'll be back going back to school next week.
Yeah.
Ken couldn't make it tonight, everybody, but he will be back.
He's in the chat. He's in the
chat.
So
he was just
got home, buddy.
Yeah, he had a very busy day at work, and so I know Ken's got his usual, and I'm thinking because it's a long weekend, he might actually have a Sunday night stream this week as well, because
unless he's got to work Monday.
Oh,
well, Monday's Labor Day, though.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes I think Ken works some on some holidays. He gets like double or triple some ridiculous amount of overtime.
Well, then he probably should work if it's available.
Yeah. So
sure.
I'm assuming, Ken, you got through, because he texted me. What was it? About 5 and stuff. Said he was only halfway done his route. It's like,
yeah.
So.
He's put a message in the chat here that says, congrats to those who bought Bone Token when he mentioned it a few months ago, because I guess the freaking Horrigal probably made another prediction. And
he did. It was, I forget what it was, but
the Bone Token.
Yeah, and he's not working on Monday.
And he's not working, working on Monday?
But Ken is one of the lucky recipients of the Shakepay t-shirt, because he is part of the Shake Squad. So Nate, Keaton, Ken, myself, and someone who is Little Red Weed Gal, whoever she is. If you're watching or know who she is, I need to get a hold of her for her address to get this shirt out to her.
And for anybody that wants to join a squad with me or wants me on their squad, again, I'm the shopper. I'm not part of a squad. So let me know in our Facebook Crypto Night in Canada group, and I will be happy to join a squad or start a squad, because, hey, who knew that you could go and win some fantastic t-shirts over on the
and there's only 25 of them.
Nice.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So Gary says, he said, yes, please. I'm thinking that you want to join the Shake Squad together. So message me and Tim will help me figure out how to join a group.
Jesus.
How do you like them apples? I don't know.
Gary, you just have to put in your Shakepay handle, and or I think we said, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So anyway, Tim's got a whole pile of driving videos coming out. He's got his morning dad jokes. I hope you guys all like the new promo video for our YouTube channel, gearing up for the fall. We're lining up some great interviews. I've got a bunch of people who have done side hustles that are growing like crazy, and they've now become full-time jobs for them. And so I'm just lining up some interviews. I've got a very busy fall travel schedule with work, so I may be hit or miss coming in, but we have got some fantastic interviews coming up. So as always, we so very, very, very much appreciated you guys coming in and joining us tonight. Congratulations, Gary, on day 383. My goodness, that's amazing on his shaking. That is dedication and commitment. And You're on day 3, honey. Oh, hun. Anyways, and thank you all for coming and joining us tonight. Honestly, Tim and I kind of feel like this is like we're Cheers, where everybody knows your name. You know we're here every Wednesday night, and come hell or high water, we have not missed a single Wednesday night since we started back in March of 2021.
January? Oh, March, yes.
Well, does that make the friggin' Oracle like Norm?
We're going to call him Norm when he shows up. No, who else? They've got some great characters on that show.
Well, I mean, with my broad knowledge, I'm probably your Cliff Clavin then.
Cliff, that's it. I couldn't think of any other
I
guy's
have
name.
all of the information.
Oh my goodness.
But if I ever ended up on Jeopardy, I wouldn't freeze.
Oh man. Well, anyways, hope you all have a fabulous, fabulous night tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same channel, where everybody knows your name. Have a good night, everybody.